Tutorial, we will be talking more specifically about how to choose the correct template for your faculty professional portfolio. We will also take a look at privacy settings. So you've already learned how to log into Digication, so we're going to begin on the dashboard of Digication. As I mentioned earlier, if you've already created portfolios, they will most likely be showing up in this spot right now. So the reason why I have the faculty templates showing up in mine is because I helped create these templates. So for you to create a new portfolio, you should see somewhere a blue plus button next to something like by my ePortfolios. So we're going to click on that blue plus button, and that's going to show us the available templates that we have to use. So it's going to default to the AAAS for students because students are the majority of our users currently. But if you scroll down, you should start to see some with the yellow on it. These are faculty templates here. So the one that we're going to be using for this tutorial is the new faculty template. And it's new faculty template because we've revised the original faculty template. So it's not necessarily just for new faculty, but it's just a new and improved faculty template. So this is the one we're going to be using. These other faculty templates, you'll notice the specific names on them are for different review processes. So for example, if you were applying for tenure, you would want to add this template into the existing new faculty template. We won't do that right now, but I will show you how to do that at a later time. So you want to make sure you have this as your foundation template, and then you can add these others in later as you might need to. So I'm going to click on new faculty template here, and you'll notice if I scroll up to the top now, that this is what is showing up as the template that I'm using, and then we need to give it a name. So I am just going to call this faculty example, but most people prefer to put their name in here. So you could put your John Doe in here, or JD, or John D, or J Doe, or you get the picture. So any variation that you would like, go ahead and use that for your name. I'm just going to use faculty example just so I know which one I'm using. And you'll notice that once I have a title here, that title automatically defaults into the URL that it creates for you right here. So this blue part will be specific to the title. If you don't like that, you can always come in here and edit that up so that your URL has a different name in it. Or if you don't want, for example, your name to be in your URL, you can edit that up. You can also change that later if you would like. So once I have a title in here, once I have my template chosen, I can go ahead and create my portfolio. Actually, I might just go ahead and put John Doe in here so I don't confuse anyone. Okay, apparently there are many John Does. So I'm going to come down here now and go ahead and click on Create. So you'll notice these are the 4 pages that are in this foundational template, and it's just going through and creating those right now. When each page is created, it clicks Done, and sometimes this takes a few minutes, but it will eventually kick into your welcome page. So here we are on the welcome page for our faculty portfolio. The next thing I wanted to show you briefly was the different options available for privacy settings. So if we come up to the top right corner of your page, you'll notice a little sandwich menu, these 3 lines and the little arrow. If I click on that, it brings up a list of options of what I can do with my portfolio. But I'm going to go about halfway down to the settings option. So if I click on settings, it's going to show me what my default setting is right now. My current default setting is private within the college, which is fine. That's what we typically do as our default setting. And I'll explain the different settings in 1 minute. But if we continue on this, this is where you can also go if you want to go back and change your URL or change the title of your portfolio, or perhaps you want to change the thumbnail. You can do all of this in your settings. So let's say, for example, that I wanted to change the permissions and privacy settings on my portfolio. I would come down here where it says Permissions and Share, and you can see that the default right now is private within the college. If I click on Edit, you'll see the 3 options that you have here. Let me explain them each briefly. The first option, Private to Me, means that you are essentially the only person who can see the work in your portfolio. That's good in the sense that it keeps it very, very private, but bad in the sense that nobody else in the college can see it. So you're going to want to make sure that if you have it set to private to me, which is fine, and you can have it on that initially, but keep in mind that once you need your portfolio reviewed by your colleagues, you'll want to change that setting to private within Salt Lake Community College. Private within Salt Lake Community College allows anybody in the college to access your portfolio, but two things have to be done first. The first is that anyone who wants to see your portfolio has to be logged into Digication. So they have to be a part of our college community. And they have to actually go in and log into Digication. And then the second factor is they have to have your URL. So private within the college is actually a very safe setting to leave it on if you haven't given anybody your URL. So nobody else will really be able to access that. The last one is public. And if you decide that you want to make your portfolio public, which some do, and that's great, that will open it up to anybody in or outside of the college. So sometimes people like their students to be able to access it and not necessarily have to log in first, or they maybe want colleagues from other institutions to be able to access it, or they might be using it to send somebody their welcome page for a bio. So whatever the case may be, if you decide you want it public, you can choose to have it public. I will just briefly mention there are a few other settings that you can do to this. You can require a password for access. Again, keep in mind that if you decide to do that, you're going to want to make sure that anyone who is reviewing your portfolio has your password. You can also choose the option to show your portfolio in a school-wide portfolio directory. That just means that somebody could search it. They could type your name in potentially and pull up your portfolio. Sometimes I've had instructors who have wanted students to be able to find theirs, so they put it in the directory. That again is optional. That's up to you. If you decide to choose that option, you would click on this, and then it would give you some more options, but I'm going to leave that off for now. So once you have your settings where you want them, you're going to go ahead and save your settings. And you can keep in mind that you can change your settings at any time. So you could have it private to me, and then as you're getting ready to submit it for review, you can change that setting, and you could change it for a month and then change it back again. But please know that these are fluid, so you can change them at any time.